Minister, ladies and gentlemen, will follow the procedure. Well, it's short, people. Follow the procedure of announcing the Benny winner, then doing the background before the person comes up to accept the award. This year the Benny Award goes to a man whose professional life began as a labourer at a wool store, but who's now become one of the country's most internationally successful musicians, Mr. Gary Daverne. He did work at a wool store, but he also graduated from university in economics and accounting, and most importantly, music. Clarinet, saxophone, piano, he played jazz and rock, but then went to London and studied 4 years symphonic conducting and composition. Now back in New Zealand, those became his main activity, and he started with a government appointment to encourage music in schools, for whom he wrote a great many songs and small musical shows for children. Now besides that work with children, he began composing symphony works with orchestras, accordion bands, TV shows, commercials and movie soundtracks. In 1975, Gary established the Auckland Symphony, and for over 30 years this widely respected orchestra has made a huge contribution to New Zealand music. A total of, I could count, 100 free symphonic concerts, probably more. Concerts besides providing concert encouragement and opportunity to young performers to develop their skills and also to display them. And not just New Zealand. In 2007, Gary Daverne took the Auckland Symphony Orchestra, the whole lot, on a concert tour throughout China. And that climaxed in 2 massive performances in Shanghai and Beijing, televised in prime time with an estimated audience of 140 million. He is, without doubt, the most successful New Zealand-based international conductor. Just a sample of Gary's career includes overseas engagements conducting the London Philharmonic, the London Royal Philharmonic, the Shanghai Symphony, the Taiwan Symphony, the Czechoslovakian Philharmonic, the symphony orchestras of Indonesia, Germany, Malaysia, Turkey, and in USA, Washington, Chicago and Texas. And in 2002, he became the first New Zealander ever invited to conduct symphony orchestras in South Korea. Now, on all those occasions, he's very, very strongly identified as a New Zealander, carrying the flag for this nation. And besides the international activity, he's never stopped working and developing the musical life of New Zealand. Besides those concerts I mentioned, which are mainly symphonic or popular symphonic, he has been musical director for the vast combined New Zealand Armed Forces military tattoo and musical director for the Waitangi Day celebrations at Waitangi. In the studio, he has produced over 40 albums, including 1 platinum and 2 golds, and a whole series of contemporary arrangements of Maori music. The International Rotary Foundation awarded him the Paul Harris Fellowship. The Honours List made him an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit. And here at Variety, he was handed a Scroll of Honour in the year 2000, and I quote, for his dedication and skill, bringing the joy of orchestral music to people. In his own way, this man represents a massive contribution to orchestral recording, performing and composing activity, all of it a vital component of the word we all know as variety. The 2010 Benny goes to Gary Daverne. Please come.
Thank you, Max, for all those wonderful words you said. Thank you. And thank you to VAC and to all those people or person, whoever it was, who nominated me. I feel quite chuffed, actually. I first met Max, actually, in the wool stores. We're at university, and we worked together down there in Parnell, loading bales of wool, as we did in those days. Max and I have remained good friends all over the years, and he has performed with my orchestra, well, as recently as last June, where he did a little list song, didn't you, Max? How did I ever get into music? I had polio when I was 11 and couldn't do sport, which most people probably don't know about, and I had to do something, so I took on music. I grew up as a rock and roller with Red Hewitt, the Buccaneers. We had hit records by the time I was 20. And then in the Embers. And we had hit records with Rinky Dink, you may remember that. And I stayed in the recording world and finally got into the orchestral world, musical comedy, etc. There are two people, over the years I've worked with some great people. A lot of them are, some of them are in this room here tonight. I've produced records for them. And those great people have been a major influence in my life, and they've been wonderful to work with. But there are two people that I would like to sort of mention who probably have had the greatest influence on my musical career. First was Bernie Allen. Now, Bernie Allen taught me everything. Thank you, Bernie, if you're here. Bernie taught me everything I knew about orchestration and arranging for all the years that I worked for television as an arranger for all those shows like Happening, Smile, Sing, Once More with Feeling, Stars on Sunday, Les Andrews, remember that? Yeah, I was your arranger. And I produced a CD for Les and Sonia a few years back also. And I actually produced one for Tom Sharplin. I think it was his third album. That must have been about 20 years ago, Tom. So, Bernie, thank you for those. And the other is probably the greatest influence in my life. I cut my first record with him when I was 19 or 20, and we'd stayed close friends right through, probably my greatest mentor, and that's the late Elred Stebbing. And I want to say thank you all very much, and I'm very proud to receive this award. Thank you.